Welcome to the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center here in Brantford as the Bulldogs get set to square off with the Kitchener Rangers in their third preseason game prior to this 2023-2024 season. It's Reed Duthie, the voice of the Bulldogs, alongside my broadcast partner Troy Islikar. And Troy, a little bit of different surroundings tonight. The Bulldogs home at the Civic Center, almost ready to go, but tonight they'll call Wayne Gretzky Center home as they host the rival Rangers.
Yeah, a nice little rink here. It's just a complex that every city would be a treasure to have, and it's going to be home to the Bulldogs tonight. Expecting a good crowd. This is when it starts getting real now. You're into your third exhibition game of this preseason, and we'll start seeing lines a little closely more affiliated to what we may see down the road in a couple weeks.
As the teams will make their way out momentarily, we'll run through the lineups very quickly. For Kitchener, they'll have Rakoff between Swick and Misljevic to compose line one, Sop between Martin and Romano for line two, Mercer between Stark and Botno for line three, and Morey will have Elenis and Lamb for line four. Andonovsky and Blair, Reed and Motu, Hamara and Runco with Di Felice in between the pipes for the Rangers tonight. For the Bulldogs, Shirk will be joined by Jack-Eye left and Brown right. Thomas will center Van Acker left and first round pick Jake O'Brien right. Ben Bujo will have Noah Nelson left and Adrian Rebello right. Mason Ray will have Calvin Crombie, the free agent signing, to his left, and Dylan Tashurna, Bulldogs second round pick, to his right. Jorian Donovan and Daniel Chen, Noah Roberts, Noah Van Vliet, Callum Chanowski, and Ben Radley. Tristan Malbuff gets the call in goal for the Bulldogs. And Troy, you can start to see that lineup becoming a little bit more whole for both of these sides. Kitchener has only scratched 3 players from their roster tonight. The Bulldogs have scratched significantly more, but you can start to see how this forward group is going to look for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, some players that, household names here for the Hamilton Bulldogs. Nick Lardis and Okatundu not in the lineup today. Mateo Drobak sitting this one out, as well as Melbuff and David Igaroff will be backing him up for the Bulldogs.
As we keep an eye down on that tunnel, you can see Bruiser getting the kids along that tunnel side ready to go. And for the first time tonight, Troy, when the Bulldogs take the ice, they'll be wearing the Brantford B on their shoulders.
Yeah, that will be a significant thing here for this Brantford partisan crowd, is that big B, and they have made the move, and that makes it official that when you see that big B on the shoulder, it's done.
Of course, familiar names for Bulldogs fans. Lawson Shirk back for his overage season in the middle of the top line tonight. Troy, big year for Lawson Shirk, a young man who has done everything that the Bulldogs could ask from him and then some. He was a catalyst in the championship season, took on every role and embraced it. Last year's, you mentioned during the black and white game, he took a bigger load offensively. If he can take it up another notch, the way we've seen each and every year from Lawson Shirk, it's going to be a very productive year for the 6'2", 200-pound centerman.
Yeah, there's only so many great things I can say about Lawson Shirk. Just love the kid, love the way he plays. Every shift goes out there, gives 100%. Both ends of the ice. He's your consummate 200-foot player.
In our Brantford Bulldogs YouTube chat, Mika Hughes along with us tonight, watching from Australia. Well, we appreciate that. I'm not sure what time it is in Australia, but
wow.
It might be either too early or too late for me. As we will get set for the playing of the national anthem here inside the Wayne Gretzky Center. As we get set to go tonight, Troy, interesting happenings around the Brantford Bulldogs, and one of those is the gentleman standing to my left. Owen Burnell is in the booth with us, and he's wearing a suit. There's a doings a transpiring.
Yeah, looking really dapper, Owen Burnell. Talked to him before the game. He is the new video coach for the Hamilton Bulldogs, and you couldn't have a better guy doing that. And he's going to dabble in the video for the Hamilton Bulldogs this season. Says he wants to learn. He's a sponge. He's going to take in everything he can, and he's just so impressed with this coaching staff already. So much he's learned, for a guy who's played considerable time in the OHL, still always learning.
And he graduated Waterloo, so he's a genius. As Brown, my dad, also a Waterloo grad, I'm obligated to say that. As Shirk will lean in and deals up against Carson Rakoff. As Andonovski will bring it back for Scott, and up the side for Misljevic on the right wing. Pop back for Scott, who will toss it in to the Bulldog zone. Puck comes all the way around as Florian Jacki looking to kick it loose. Misljevic will take it off the boards, and he's run into by the U18 first-rounder Daniel Chen, who the Bulldogs signed this past week.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot about him this game. Very impressed during orientation development camp at the beginning of the spring, and has earned him a spot on this team.
Carson Rakoff just peppered Tristan Malbuff with a shot on goal, and there's a bit of a malfunction at the junction over by the benches, and both teams are going to make a quick change. Thomas will come on with Van Acker and O'Brien, and they'll be opposed by the SOP combination with Martin and Romano. And Romano and O'Brien will know each other very, very well, having been together with the Toronto Junior Canadians.
Yeah, Romano, dangerous winger out there for the Rangers. He and O'Brien can do some damage. They did some damage together. Now they're doing it on opposite teams.
OHL Cup champions, where O'Brien was the MVP, is Van Vliet from the right point after an O'Brien steal tosses to the front. And Merrick Van Acker, who is excited about this season, Troy, because he's playing just down the road from his home in Delhi.
The
Delhi, Ontario. Yeah, I got to be careful of that, or else Vanny's going to give me a hard time.
Thomas taking this face off for the Bulldogs just to the left of DeFelice.
As Thomas will play it on for Van Acker, and that'll be punched loose by the veteran defenseman Simon Motu. Motu, another one of those guys for the Rangers who has just earned everything that he has gotten in the Ontario Hockey League. Puck played low from Martin, who was in quite the battle with Noah Van Vliet. A couple of big bodies there. Sop delivers it out front. Malbuff tried to poke it into his glove, and it was Romano there to poke it away. Now Martin cuts off the exit from the Washington Capitals draft pick Thomas. Van Vliet bunts it to the sideboards. O'Brien tries to kick it loose. His former teammate Romano's there to disrupt. Van Vliet wings it out of the zone. Van Acker had it swept away by Motu.
Yeah, good sequence there by the Rangers. That line of Martin, Sop, and Romano. They kept the Bulldogs hemmed in their own zone for a while there. Bulldogs did have an exit, but then they stopped it and brought it right back in.
Rangers bringing the pressure early as Mercer is offside on the play. And onto the ice comes the line of Ben Bujold, who has been possessed during training camp, along with Noah Nelson and Adrian Rebello. We saw Ben Bujold in that black and white game, and he was everywhere.
Yeah, he had two speeds in that game, fast and faster. He was really moving. I was impressed with his skating so far this early season.
Gabriel Runco, who saw time with the Niagara Ice Dogs last year, tosses it into the zone. Played here in Brantford as well with the 99ers. As Noah Nelson chips the puck ahead. Botno gets in the way. Bujold spinning it on to Rebello. Rebello had a really productive rookie season for the Bulldogs. Ben Radley, Bulldogs' fourth-round pick, sends this in between Bujold and Rebello, and that'll clear down for icing.
Yeah, Radley and Chanowski playing together on that third pairing for the Bulldogs, and been impressed with Chanowski as well this camp. Another guy who's, didn't play a ton of games last year for the Bulldogs, but is showing a lot of composure so far this season.
He was a standout with the Thorold Blackhawks last year. top prospect in that league. He and David Igorov, both in the GOJHL, really took it to another level as Rebello bounces it ahead. There's the speed of Ben Bujo to the right wing side. Bujo in the circle, pulls it back in front. What a stop by Di Felice. Back to Bujo, and the puck will be rolled around for Nelson. To the line, he wanted Shanowski, and it'll come all the way back to Tristan Malbuff. Bulldogs trying to take it up a gear as Rebello slides it in between his skates. Nelson is next. Back for Chen. His drive, blockered up and over the top. Donovan tosses low. It'll come around the back of the net. Tomáš Hamra, the defenseman out of the Czech Republic, or Czechia now. Tries to play that along. Calvin Crombie got in his way. Crombie spent the last 2 seasons with the Caledonia Corvairs and has earned his way onto the Bulldogs by just being a general pain in the keister. To Sherna.
Lots of tenacity to his game.
That's one way to put it. As the puck tossed where Andonovski will be back for it. Blair Scott looking for Tanner Lamb, and that puck will run all the way down the rink as Daniel Chen will be the first man back. Spins it around the boards. Stepping to it is Lamb. Flips it to open space. Andonovski fills that space. He's met by Chen, and Mason Ray tosses it around the back of the goal for Jorian Donovan. Puck played up into neutral ice. There's Crombie. Trying to slide through the Blair Scott hit. Andonovski whips it around the backboards. Swick dances back into his own zone. And he'll start ahead. Swick to the left wing side. Into the circle. Around the back of the Hamilton net on the wraparound. Centered the puck, and Rakoff's there for the goal.
Just a great job by Swick. Good zone exit, and he just took that puck. He went from 0 to 60 in no time at all. Gains the Bulldogs' blue line, goes all the way around the net, and puts that right out in front to Rakoff. All he had to do was tap that one in. That was a gimme putt.
Trent Swick using the big frame at 6'6", 208, the Thorold product. He is a large individual, and when he drops the shoulder, it's kind of hard to stop him from going where he wants to go.
Yeah, a guy that big should not be that fast.
That's a little unfair. As Noah Roberts will spin it back. Brown chops it up ahead, and that gets into the benches. 15:36 to play in the opening period, and the Kitchener Rangers have jumped out to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, not in the lineup for the Brantford Bulldogs tonight. Lucas Moore, Nick Lardis, Carson Lloyd, Braden O'Keefe, Cedrickson Okatundu, Joshua Avery, Luca Testa, and Mateo Drobak.
As Roberts, off the face-off win from Shirk, rolls it around the back of the goal. Exit was blocked. Rakoff dangles it out high. Rakoff is going to score a lot of goals this year. As Miziljevic plays it back to the top. Jackeye runs heavy, and that was into the defenseman Cameron Reed.
Yeah, Reed, he's gone off. He was shaken up on that play.
Motu into the crowd in front. Malbuff fought it off, and now Shirk will feed Jackeye. He's got Brown streaking to the middle, and the puck popped away by Tomáš Hamra. Brown on top of it. He'll be spun by Motu, and I believe there's going to be a penalty on it as Motu took the free hand off the stick, grabbed a hold of Cole Brown, and the Bulldogs will be to the power play for the first time in the hockey game.
14:56 left to go in this first period. Bulldogs first one to the power play, and not something that we expect a lot at this point in the season. Haven't got a first or second power play team set yet, so they'll just put a line out there. Jackeye stays out there with Bujo and O'Brien.
Well, it is a bit of a power play set here, Troy, as they'll go Bujo, Jackeye, Ray, with Shanowski, the lone defenseman, and O'Brien, the righty, filling at the point.
Yeah, I like what the coaching staff is doing here, putting Shanowski right out there in that QB position.
We saw him do it in limited opportunities last season, and he looked right at home at the top of the formation. Jake O'Brien, nice little head fake to create space. Low for Bujo. Bujo dropping off for O'Brien. Works around Andonovski. Playing it for Florian Jackeye. Jackeye tosses it back to the point. Shanowski keeps it alive. He'll flip it into the open right wing corner. chopped at by Andonovski. Jack-Eye bats it down. Jack-Eye wanting to turn that to the top for O'Brien. Worked along the wall. Knocked loose the second time as Ray digs it. Now O'Brien on to Bujo. Bujo to the top for Shanowski. Backside wanted O'Brien sneaking in the long reach of Andonovski. Ended that opportunity. Bujo pokes it to the left corner. Jack-Eye kept it moving. Puck died out, and Saab's able to get it to Martin. Potential for a 2-on-1. Martin working right for Hamara middle. Hamara scores! Tomasz Hamara was able to handle the puck at the edge of his reach, flipped it to the front, and fired it in.
Yeah, Hamara did what good goal scorers do. They go right to the net, wait for the pass, and he got it. And beautiful pass by Martin. Nice little saucer pass over, and that beat Melbuff. Blocker side, and the Kitchener Rangers go up 2-0 here on the shorty.
Bulldogs still have 1:03 left in the power play.
Bulldogs just couldn't get anything set up. They did for a bit, for a brief moment inside the Kitchener Rangers line on that power play, and then lost possession of the puck, and then it came back the other way real quick.
Lawson Shirk will drive his way forward to the left. Patrick Thomas settles the puck, swings it around the back for Cole Brown. Brown cuts off the top, working the right side. Now for Jorian Donovan. Donovan walks the line to Brown. Brown's drive, save made by DeFelice. Thomas for Van Acker, that one around the back. Shirk tossed it back in front. Thomas feeds it over to Brown, who handles it down. Donovan continues the pressure. Over to Thomas. Thomas goes rink wide. That one explodes off the boards. Cole Brown kept it alive on the blue line. No, he didn't. Ooh, looked like initially it was waved as good, and the linesman had a second thought about it.
Yeah, Brown doing a great job chipping that puck up in the air and then tried to regain possession on the other side. But that's the far blue line. We can't tell, but that was just offside.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been by much. Shirk, Van Acker, Thomas, Donovan, and Chen.
Just 16 seconds left to go in the power play for the Brantford Bulldogs.
As Jorian Donovan back into his own zone.
See, if I say Brantford enough early on in the season, it just might get
Sink in.
Might get ingrained in.
It's going to take some time as Lawson Shirk works his way over the blue line to the right wing side. Shirk hits the brakes. Van Acker trying to dig it loose. Motu's back on the ice. Successful penalty kill for Kitchener with a shorthanded goal. Elenis swings it low on the right around the back of the goal. But to toss it in the side door there was Kyle Morey. And it'll be Merrick Van Acker to go the other way. Van Acker for Thomas, working around Hamara. Back for Van Acker in front, he scores! The Delhi will be standing up for the preseason marker. As in front of the Brantford faithful, Merrick Van Acker strikes, and it's cut the Kitchener lead in half.
Yeah, very much the Hellenis goal early on. Van Acker going straight for the net, knowing that pass is coming over, and he's ready for it. Great position, and puts it right by DeFelice for the Bulldogs' first goal here at home in 2023.
Well, kind of apropos that the first Brantford Bulldog to score a goal, granted preseason, in Brantford, is Merrick Van Acker. As Carson Rakoff on the backhand, tried to put that one up under the bar. And then Calvin Crombie went all in on Andonovski. Noah Roberts, pressing Misljevic, was able to spin it to the side of the Hamel goal. Kicking away there is Malbuff. Swick centers, Rakoff drags, it'll pop back to the line. Andonovski walks, fires, that one blocked on the way through. Noah Nelson on his backhand will lift it high and out. Andonovski sweeping it back to Scott. Off of a stick, Crombie pops it ahead to Sherna for Nelson. Nelson's drive, save made by DeFelice, he didn't know where it was. And it's the youngster Tashurna who went goal mouth, and now Crombie is in there with Swick. And Swick is going to wind up getting a penalty out of this as he just took the helmet off of Calvin Crombie.
Now, Crombie giving up some some height and some weight on that one. But didn't back down at all.
And Crombie with a bit of a grin to his teammates as he headed on over to the Bulldogs bench. And Troy, thus far, it's been an exciting open to the run in Brantford as the Kitchener Rangers have a 2-1 lead, but Marek Van Acker set the crowd ablaze with the first goal on Brantford ice for 2023.
Yeah, and Crombie is an 05, don't forget, played last year with the Caledonia Corvairs, and it's always great when you can get a guy who has some junior seasoning in your lineup, and at the perfect time with the tenacity and ability that he has, he came to the Bulldogs, and he will not back down and loves the rough stuff.
Interesting dynamic between the benches tonight as each one of these OHL teams features a European-born coach, in fact, Scandinavian, as the Kitchener Rangers now led by Jussi Aukas, who comes from Finland. He was the head coach most recently with Turku in the Finnish Liga. And on the other side, Bulldogs assistant coach, who we know very well, is Andreas Karlsson, who has a long history, played over 300 games in the National Hockey League, and was an assistant coach with the Kitchener Rangers when Jamie Key was the bench boss there. As the puck played out front to open the power play, Di Felice rolls on top of it. It's under him somewhere and now spills out the side as Di Felice was doing the snow angel and somehow kept that out of the net.
Yeah, a couple opportunities to hack away at the Bulldogs in front of the net there. That puck was bouncing right in the blue paint, and no one could get a real good stick on it. And it just sort of, on its end, got pushed into the Kitchener goalie, who makes the stop. And this puck is coming outside because the Bulldogs defense ventured into the fray.
Everybody went in. So Swick was the man who got the only penalty out of the altercation with Crombie. He'll get officially nabbed for roughing, ended up taking the helmet off of Crombie.
And the Bulldogs go back to their second power play here. Had a shorthanded goal scored against them in their first.
Brown tried to feed Van Acker, and Brown working to his right. Van Acker straight ahead, put that play offside.
Yeah, we talked about Andre Carlson a few seconds ago, and Owen Burnell was talking to him before the game, and you know, he's immersed in the coaching of the Bulldogs now, and he was just saying he cannot believe how smart Andreas Carlson is. You know, he's just a genius. So many levels there in hockey.
Shirk won the draw forward. Puck comes off the right wing boards for Cole Brown, and the puck back out into neutral ice. Donovan slides it along for Van Acker. I've said it many a times, if there was a Mensa for hockey, Andreas Carlson would be the president. I spent 5 minutes with him and I feel smarter. Not that that's hard.
Or dumber.
Well, there are moments.
Compared to what he knows.
As Jorian Donovan will bring it around the back of his own net after the Rangers got declared. Donovan gallops ahead. Drops it back for Shirk. To the left, Thomas.
Good entry by the Bulldogs there.
Well, you got a lot of NHL draft experience on that power play unit right now, as the three working the top of the umbrella all picked. Thomas to Washington, Donovan to Ottawa, Brown to New Jersey. As Thomas plays one in, and Van Acker shows the hops. Brings it back to the line for Donovan. Swings it over for Brown. His drive, and that one deflected off the end boards. Reed not able to punch that loose. Shirk for Van Acker in the slot. He rifled that off glass, and it catches the meshing up and out of play. Boy, can Marek Van Acker unload a puck.
Sure can, and he was the reason why that power play continued on in the offensive zone. That puck that hopped up in the air, he very wisely came across, grabbed it in his glove, pushed it into the corner, or else that would have been went right to the net in a stoppage in play. They were able to continue on there.
Now, of course, one big piece of this Bulldog power play, not in the lineup tonight, Nick Lardis, and you know he will be a member of that top unit. Was drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks. What a draft class they had. And as we joked about before, once they took Connor Bedard, they had to take Nick Lardis because he's the only guy that can skate with them. As Jake O'Brien back to the line. Jack-Eye over for Shanowski.
Upcoming years in Chicago will
They're going to have
sure
fun.
Be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Shanowski off the right point. His drive, and that one off the meshing. It's been a little lean in Chicago of late. They're going to be just fine. As Mason Ray will head over to the Bulldogs bench after snapping a stick. And a young group will come on here with the last 11 seconds of the power play. It'll be Mason Ray, the 06 center, in between the 07 winger Tishurna and the 05 rookie Crombie. 9:51 to play in the opening frame. Ray with the draw win, back to Shanowski. Shanowski over to Dylan Tishurna. Tishurna low for Ray. Ray has a look out top, that's Shanowski. Shanowski's drive, and that one off of a leg. Nice block there by Morey. Elenis from the right side rifles one through the crease and out.
Yeah, that shot by Chernurski, that's got to get through. Even if it's wide and into the corner, that puck almost bounced off a pad and came the other way for the Rangers.
Bradley over to Shanowski, and that puck touched into the Kitchener zone. Swick turns it the other way. Morey quick in. Elenis will carry on after it as Noah Roberts goes body to body. Puck to the side of the net. Swick fanned on it. Second chance. Hamara from the point. And that one was knocked away by Malbuff. Van Vliet hits the brakes around back. He's confronted by Rakoff. Again, two big bodies colliding on the end boards. Rakoff spins the puck to the front. Noah Roberts got a touch on it, and then it was Malbuff who had to kick it aside. Misljevic to the line. Hamara, right point, trying to step around Crombie. On his forehand, save made by Malbuff. Tishurna, quick to it. He'll get it out of the zone, and Crombie will send it the length of the rink, and Crombie's going to carry on after it himself. Crombie around the back of the Kitchener goal, looked to center it. Hamara ran into him, and it's Rakoff. Right wing corner in the Brantford zone. As Van Vliet playing it around the back of the net. Puck high, Motu's drive. That catches back glass. Blair to the line. Motu driven on by Misljevic with the one-timer, and that one up over the top. Motu again. From the right side, Misljevic. That one knocked away by Adrian Rebello, and he'll carry forward. Simon Motu gets in the way of that. Motu to the Brantford line, and it's Rebello turning it back to his defense. Sop trying to get it loose from Roberts. And now Sop and Roberts going nose to nose. And they'll both unpile without any further damage done. Noah Nelson laying the puck ahead from Stark, and he'll roll it into the Kitchener end. Rebello jams a body to the boards. He'll get onto the loose puck and then took a stick up high from Romano. And the Bulldogs will go to their third power play of the game as Adrian Rebello draws the high stick.
Yeah, Romano in the defensive zone trying to help out his buddies down low and ends up hooking Rebello right out in front of the net. I would say that was a good penalty because Rebello was on the backhand, but he would have been all alone in front of that Kitchener Rangers net.
Well, I thought it was going to be a high stick, but you're right, Troy. It is officially a hooking call. And Stark is going to be sent back onto the ice, which means the late change of Martin is not, Swick is not going to be allowed. Ben Bujo will lean in for the faceoff. He, along with Sop, as being forced to back off for Blair Scott and Florian Jack-Eye, who are encroaching.
Bulldogs on their third power play of this game.
O'Brien for Shanowski to Jack-Eye. Now O'Brien right circle. Played it in front, wanted Mason Ray's stick just a little too far out in front, and Shanowski will collect back into his own end. O'Brien, quick stop, but Sop was wise to it. O'Brien back underneath him to loosen up the puck, And now Shanowski will take it back in behind his own goal. Shanowski will start it ahead to the left, and Florian Jacki over the line as Jacki and Mason Ray ended up bumping into one another. Play would have been offside, but the puck is cleared all the way down. Shanowski will set it up in behind his own goal. Bulldogs continue on the power play for a minute 10 as O'Brien feeds wide for Florian Jacki. Jacki to the end boards, throws the reverse hit on Scott. Remember, the first guy I ever saw really do that consistently was Peter Forsberg.
Yeah.
And he used to just stop and shoulder guys.
You got to have that great base, lower leg strength.
Jorian Donovan laying it back for Lawson Shirk. Flipped wide right. Cole Brown around the back of the net. Thomas feeds Van Acker in front. That one carried off the end boards. Shirk at the side of the net tried to flip it into the goal, and somehow DeFelice was able to keep that out. Jorian Donovan galloping around the back of his own net. He'll start up to the right. Hamra in hot pursuit. Motu over as well. Donovan keeps going and then shoveled the puck off the official. Thomas was next, but it sprang to Morey, and it's out of the zone. Kitchener head trying to create a 2-on-1. Van Acker erases Stark. Next man, Morey, and Van Acker's on him as well. Eric Van Acker putting in the work.
Romano back on the ice out of the box.
Even in full 5-on-5. We continue on. Bulldogs power play 0 for 3. Morey for Romano. Puck poked onto the right wing boards. Cole Brown steps into Romano. Morey has the puck come loose, and it's poked out of the zone. Daniel Chen, first man back. Romano bumps into him, and at 6'4" and about 190 pounds is Daniel Chen. He didn't move a whole lot. But what a find he was in the U18 draft.
Yeah, absolutely. Good balance of size, speed, and skill.
Troy, we watched him at both development camp and in main camp, and both kind of looked at each other and went, how? And then Dave Gray, the great head scout for the Bulldogs, and hello, Dave, I'm sure he's watching along, mentioned to me that Daniel Chen had been playing forward up until the last couple of years.
Yeah, interesting.
As Radley on for Crombie.
I'm sure the Bulldogs coaching staff are aware of that, and in a pinch, as they did with Roberts last season, play a little forward.
Yeah, Noah Roberts did it the other way.
Yeah.
As Hamra. Of course, at one point there last season, it was a bit of a war of attrition. They had no other choice. There weren't any other forwards available, and Noah Roberts filled in quite well.
Yeah, did a really nice job there.
Antonovsky pulls the puck back into his own zone. 3:35 to be played in the opening frame. And Martin gallops ahead through the neutral ice. Martin trying to drag through two. Poked away, and it's Bujo. On to Ray. Ray working into the offensive zone at Runco. He gets run out of space. And it'll be Martin to swing it around back of his own net. Hamra just got that onto Martin before Rebello could poach. Sop has a look. He'll work it through the center circle. On for Romano, who does a bit of a swing back into his own end, and it's Runco once more. Gabe Runco feeds that along for for Cameron Reed. And it's Noah Roberts in the Brantford end. Roberts up to Van Acker. Puck played along the boards. Van Acker trying to spin it out, and there he goes. Van Acker working at Reed, ducks through the check. Motu has to turn back. That makes a real nice play as he pivoted to get that puck loose. Jake O'Brien gets in the way, feeds forward for Patrick Thomas, just bounced off his stick. Got to wonder with some of these bounces that both Brantford and Kitchener are receiving in this game, Troy. It was a scorcher today. Have to wonder about the ice tonight. I mean, it has been great ice all the way through camp, and this sudden heat wave has been interesting as we have a penalty coming up here for, it looks like a hold, and it's going again against the Rangers as Cameron Mercer will head off. The ice crew comes out to clean. Bulldogs going to their 4th power play of the game. And Troy, at this point, you got to think they got to find a way to put one in with the man advantage, because eventually it's going to turn.
Yeah, Bulldogs, I mean, like I said, they're just trying out different combinations on that power play. That last one they had more of their regulars out there trying things out, but weren't able to get one past the Rangers goalie. Rangers are doing a great job on the penalty kill. A lot of quick movement, and you know the defense really activate very quickly and get in the play, and you know they'll come at you 4 abreast on the penalty kill. And you know the Bulldogs, you know, you get caught. A couple guys get caught in deep on that power play, and they'll make you pay. And Motu really activates quickly from his own zone, deep in his own zone.
Simon Motu out of Highland Park, entering his overage season, and he's just gotten better and better with each year in the OHL.
Yeah, no, I've been impressed with him. His skating is phenomenal. You know, we don't get to see these guys that much. Just
one home and one road.
One home, one road, and but great skating team.
Jordan Donovan from the line, his drive saved by DeFelice with Shirk creating the screen. It is a little bit silly when you consider that you could probably, with a good arm, throw a stone from here to Kitchener. These two teams will see each other twice. I don't know.
Yeah, I did the mileage math during the off season, and the Bulldogs would have significantly less travel in the West.
Yeah, I remember that. As Brown puts the brakes on, swings it back for Donovan. His shot kicks off the leg of Van Acker up into the mesh out of play. The Bulldogs will go to Kitchener once, to London once, to Guelph once, host each of those teams once, but will go to Kingston 3 times and Ottawa twice, North Bay twice, Sudbury twice. And there you have it there, Troy. Yeah, difference, wow, you're looking at almost 1,000 kilometers of travel.
Yeah, in the Western Conference, it'd be about 1,882 kilometers, and then 2,574 in the East. So that's a big difference.
Antonovsky tried to toss it to Sop, who was poaching, and Donovan thought he kept that onside. The linesman was right behind him, said not quite.
Well, Donovan not able to keep that puck onside. However, does a great job of keeping that in front of him, because Sop was in behind him, and had that trickled through, he was gone. Didn't keep the puck onside, but didn't allow the breakaway by Sop.
Of course, we talk about travel, and there's folks in Sault Ste. Marie going, what was that?
Yeah. Wah.
Yeah. Don't talk to us about travel. And it's Jordan Donovan.
Or Ottawa, or Windsor.
Yeah, at the far ends of the OHL. Hamilton and now Brantford has had the luxury of being very central. As Jordan Donovan on from Eric Van Acker. Now Patrick Thomas left. Donovan taking it high. Brown on the right, settles it down there. His shot off Van Acker's stick. And if Van Acker had been bringing his stick down instead of bringing his stick up in that spot, could have created some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, many road games for the Bulldogs, you know, Mississauga, Niagara, Oshawa, you know, they just feel like Barrie. They don't really feel like road games, you know.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, you can sleep in your own bed, but you know, Sioux Greyhounds, Ottawa 67s, everything is a duration.
Yeah, that bus trip to Ottawa, that's a chiropractic adjustment. As Ben Bugeaud to the right wing corner. Around the back of the net, Bugeaud trying to shake a couple of checkers loose. Jake O'Brien's there, he'll feed to the line. Florian Jacki flattens it, and then the puck exploded over onto Callum Shanowski. Shanowski fights to keep it alive. Shanowski looking to step inside, and now has to battle it loose from Morey as the puck rolls all the way back down to the Hamilton end. O'Brien dropping it back for Shanowski. 20 seconds left in the opening frame. Rangers holding the 2-1 lead. O'Brien trying to work it along. Shanowski had that popped loose, and it'll be rolled back out where Ben Bugeaud will take. I know the clock in the building reads guess to home won. It's because the Bulldogs chose to be on that side. Is Stark's drive, and that one blocked off on its way through as we come to the end of the opening frame. Troy, a very spirited, exciting first period here in Brantford to open up this exhibition season on home ice.
Yeah, impressive. You've got guys who haven't played at this level, not used to this speed, getting orientated to the game. Bulldogs with 4 power play opportunities, not able to score on any of them. So that's a problem that needs to be rectified. But other than that, a very quick, impressive first period.
It's the Brantford Bulldogs, the Kitchener Rangers. Rangers with a 2-1 lead through 20 minutes of play. You're watching preseason action here on the Brantford Bulldogs YouTube feed. Troy and I will be back with you for the second period after this. for the second period of play as the Brantford Bulldogs trail the Kitchener Rangers by a 2-1 score. Reed Duthie alongside Troy Islikar up top. Troy, first period. Brantford responded through Merrick Van Acker's second of the preseason, first on Brantford ice for these Bulldogs from Patrick Thomas and Noah Nelson, but it was Carson Rakoff and Tomasz Hamara who got the Rangers out to a 2-0 lead early in that game.
Yeah, and that second goal by Hamara, that was a shorthanded goal, and that one hurt.
As the puck drops, and we are underway for period number 2 with Rakoff, Swift, and Misljevic for the Rangers up against Shirk, Jackeye, and Brown for the Bulldogs. And the puck right into the Brantford zone. Shirk shovels it around. Brown trying to dig it loose. Puck up to the top. Rakoff slides it along. Antonovsky snaps it. Save made there by Malbuff. Puck again in the slot. Swick's drive, and that one deadened. Jorian Donovan trying to shove Adrian Misljevic away from the goal as Malbuff was on top of the puck. And Troy, in that first period, we saw the Rangers shorthanded 4 times. Brantford needing to be careful here because you got to believe at some point that penalty dial turns.
Yeah, I was just going to say that things might get a little evened up here in this second period.
They generally do.
But so far, Bulldogs playing a good, clean game, and they ran into a little bit of penalty troubles last season, so it's something that Jay McKee and his staff are working on.
Rakoff wide on the right. His shot deadened there by Malbuff. Puck bounces down. Misljevic lays it on for Rakoff. Back out high, they wanted Blair Scott. The puck will roll into neutral ice. Andonovsky, D to D. Scott for Martin. Martin looking to start, swept away by Brown. Brown cuts to the inside, and the puck rolled at the edge of his reach. And now Sopp with a jump in his step, breaking into the Brantford zone, but Romano crossed a wee bit early. Yes. And plays offside.
Sopp just making that extra move at the blue line, and Romano tried to stay, but he was very much offside there.
Romano sold it too. He didn't break stride. It kept going, and when he heard the whistle, he just went, got me. Sopp, Martin, and Romano continue on. Just as the Bulldogs extremely happy to get Jake O'Brien out of that first round, I'm sure the Rangers will be very happy with Romano. Sopp looking to spin the puck ahead. He'll step back and play it over to Cameron Reed. As Noah Van Vliet marches back to the puck, trying to spin away from the Sopp pressure. Feels like Matthew Sopp has been everywhere early into this second period. Sopp working it up the wall. Merrick Van Acker steps in the way, and Brantford has the exit. It's Thomas over the line. He'll delay and fire, and that one blocked down by Motu. Jake O'Brien flips it high. Noah Roberts drive, and a save made by DeFelice.
Yeah, DeFelice's done a pretty good job of whatever he sees, he can stop, and been impressed with him. His lateral movement's been very good. His eyes on the puck has been exceptional tonight.
DeFelice listed at 6'3", 180 pounds, and 06 from Brampton. So Kitchener Rangers have a very bright future with Luca DeFelice.
And a big, long upper body, upper torso, which is absolutely ideal for a goaltender.
It's David Igorov in the backup spot for the Bulldogs tonight. The Bulldogs 06 as Botno tried to center it. Ben Radley takes it away. As the Peterborough product, Iroquois product, via the Peterborough Pete's U16. As Ben Bujo around the back of the net. Tried to get it ahead, and Radley will have it back into neutral ice. Had a great chat with Ben Radley's dad during training camp. Radley family are just lovely. Met Mom, too. Well, I met them originally at signing day for Ben.
When are you going up to Peterborough for dinner?
I got to find out. Josh Avery's family from the same area in Peterborough there. Lovely folks. Well, for the Radley family, they have to go to Iroquois.
That's right.
That's okay, though.
Yeah, fine. Have dinner, we'll travel.
That's right. Yeah, drive a long way for a good dinner.
you do most nights.
That's fair. That's Bujo around the back of the net. Callum Shanowski lifts it high and out of the zone. Didn't get dinner at home tonight, but my lovely wife Celine and young Wyatt watching on. Wyatt, be good for your mother. As Shanowski tries to spin it for Rebello. Hopefully he sleeps tonight. Please, oh please. As Jorian Donovan sends that off the glass and it'll deflect out of play. 17:04 to play in the second period. Any advice going from 1 to 2?
Well, I was just thinking, we are at different parts of our lives. I just got both my daughters married off this year. I enjoyed your part. The kids, just all you do is just hope they sleep. Now it's just, I just hope they're happy. And they are.
Wedding photos look great, by the way. As Tashurna bounces it to the line. Antonovsky works wide on the left.
It's because I'm not in most of them.
Oh, come on now. Tashurna on the right side. He'll slow the puck down into the Kitchener zone. Going to work around Antonovsky. Blair Scott will step over. It'll be worked up the boards, and now Lucas Elnis will bring the puck ahead left side. Elnis run off by Daniel Chen into the Brantford zone. Kept on moving his feet. Crombie trying to capture it at the point, and it'll be back to Daniel Chen. Bulldogs looking to relieve pressure from behind the goal. Jorian Donovan flips it on ahead for Calvin Crombie. Motu chops that loose and will be run all the way back down into the Brantford end. Crombie up ahead for Donovan jumping into the play. Now Shirk. It'll be worked low. Tashurna drags it off the end. Boards. He bounced that out front. Carried through the crease and then was cleared from danger. Swick moves it forward. It'll be taken right back by Swick after Shirk had a touch. Now for Misljevic in his drive. Cut off by Malba. 15:36 to play in the second. And in our YouTube chat, we can actually see the comments as they come in. Logan Halls is in, and he is the cousin of Kitchener Rangers defenseman Blair Scott. So Logan, thanks for tuning in and all the best.
Welcome. So anyway, back to our conversation about weddings and sleeping and stuff. Like, your next milestone is when your kids are both in school full time. That's your next one.
Long way between here and there, pal.
Yeah.
As Florian Jacki is offside. Do I get to sleep while they're at school? Is that what you're telling me?
That's right. Things will improve. All this free time you'll have.
I'm kind of busy, you know.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Trent Swick for the Kitchener Rangers. Again, 6'6", 210 pounds, and the way he moves, just wow.
A mountainous monster.
Great skater. 9 goals, 9 assists last season for the Kitchener Rangers.
That's going to go up.
He's gonna definitely triple, if not quadruple that total.
Shirk into the left wing corner. He just got stuck in behind a whole bunch of talent that was brought in as the Rangers took a shot at it last year. And it's not like they're building from nothing. The likes of Swick, Martin, Rakoff, on the back end, Hamara, Motu still around. They've got pieces, and now bring in some young guys like Romano. There's
still that team that did some damage last year in the playoffs.
Absolutely. As Patrick Thomas will lean in with Matthew Sopp.
Marco Costantini, of course, has moved on. Former Hamilton Bulldog. Traded to Kitchener. Had a great season there as well.
Hamara drives it. That one didn't make it all the way through. Off the block. It'll be settled by Runco, fired wide. Around the back of the net. Martin hits the brakes. The other mountainous monster in this forward group for the Rangers. I got a word of the day calendar again. As Van Acker tried to drag it around Hamara. Martin back into the Brantford zone. It'll be flipped around the backboards. Runco snaps it. That one blocked on its way through. Van Acker up ahead. Runco stick in the way. Now Van Acker gets it on to Thomas. 3-on-1, short distance. Van Acker in front. He rang the goalpost. Thomas try to feed on for O'Brien. DeFelice was there with the glove as well as Thomas feeds it out front. It explodes off Van Acker's backhand. O'Brien with the steal.
Again, with that pass, Thomas behind the net, Van Acker wasn't expecting it. No one usually makes that pass but Thomas.
What a feed from O'Brien to Roberts. He handled that one in on his skates on his backhand and put it right in the wheelhouse. One-timer just clattered wide. Romano the other way from Martin left side. His shot up and over the top. Ben Bujo, he'll jump on. He's got Rebello up ahead. Great steal there by Blair Scott.
Yeah, that was, or Rebello was gone.
Scott up ahead. It'll be touched on from Mercer to Botno. Now to Stark for a drive, and that one came out wide as Rebello was putting on the back pressure. Scott keeps it alive. Roberts back on top of the puck. He just looks so much more comfortable under pressure with the puck early on this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he's bigger, leaner, faster.
Bujo's drive as he took a hit from Botno. And that gets up and into the mesh out of play with 12:59 left to play in the second period.
Yes, this second period here, things are lengthening and spreading out, and guys are able to use and show their speed here in this second period. A lot faster than it was in that first, a little more tight checking in that first period. Things have opened right up here.
I wasn't sure if we were going to see any sort of goaltending switches. Might still be a little bit early if the teams are going to go to a half and half setup, or whether DeFelice and Malbuff will carry this one on the whole way. Neither one of them coming out at this point. Jackson Parsons, the 04, is the second man for the Rangers tonight. And mentioned earlier, David Igorov for the Bulldogs. Igorov becomes the second Bulldog and first goaltender to wear the number 88. Takes that number from Mark Duarte, who was very excited that a goaltender was wearing it. And there's Bruiser in the crowd.
Mark Duarte is the type of guy that would go in net if he had to.
I think he has. Mark Duarte was actually here this morning. He and Logan Morrison.
Wow.
Great to see those guys.
On ice?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Practicing? Just getting a skate in?
Having some fun. Perhaps. Ben Bujo. What a learning experience. Some work with Jake O'Brien from Logan Morrison, and what a learning experience that's got to be. I'd like to do that, and I'm just the announcer. As Rebello slides it back to the line, Shanowski loads up his drive, clatters off the end boards and hopped out front, and Blair Scott was able to clear the danger. Stark. Bujo with a steal, and the puck rolled in by Andonovski. Shanowski played it off Bujo's skate. Andonovski said thank you very much. He ran into traffic. Now Stark can't get it in past Rebello to the Brantford end. Bujo back to Radley, and now on to Shanowski. Did Rebello get a touch on that puck? He did not. It will be icing with 12:18 left in the second frame.
Well, if you're just joining us, Rycroft and Hamara scored the first two Ranger goals in that first period. The Hamara goal was shorthanded, and then Van Acker replied for the Bulldogs at 7:31 of the first. Sorry, 7:31 of the first. He's made it 2-1, and that's where we stay now. Good crowd here tonight.
There were 500 tickets sold before anybody even arrived here today.
Not a bad job for it being like 27 degrees out and the first day of school.
Was it the first day or the second day? Labor Day was Monday.
Yeah, there was a PD day yesterday.
Oh, okay. As the puck dragged off the right wing circle, thrown to the front, and Malbuff will get down on top of it as attacking the net was Tanner Lamb. That's interesting. I don't ever remember having a PD day on the first day I was supposed to be back at school.
I do not recall that either.
No.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing?
Well, it's huddled together. It's like training camp, but all in one day.
Yes, Mason Ray will step in for the face-off.
Teachers training camp.
Teachers training camp, yeah. I think my mom might have led that a couple of times. As Daniel Chen up the boards. Motu keeps it alive for Morey. His drive from the slot, handled off by Malbuff. Morey will have it again, on for Lamb, tried it, blocked by Ray. Another chance, Ray deflected. That one hit the young glass. Calvin Crombie bounces to the line. Motu, soccer kicks it to keep it alive. There's the drive from Morey, and it's up off glass. Simon Motu clearly played soccer somewhere along the line as Ray spins it around the back. Off the boards, Motu again with a drive, and Malbuff will scoop it. The Rangers have had some really strong performances already tonight. Simon Motu is at the top of that list.
Yeah, sure has, and have been impressive. His ability to carry that puck and get the puck out of the zone so quickly, makes that first crisp pass, and then hops right up into the play. Not a lot of guys can do that. He has that ability.
Bit of a false start on the draw there as Rakoff and Shirk will duel to the left of Malbuff. One to Misseljevic, and that one off the pad of Malbuff. Donovan trying to bring it up and out. He'll flip it on for Shirk. Shirk working to the middle, and that one will zip up off back glass, and a faceoff will come to the left of, or the attacking left side for the Bulldogs, right side for Luca Di Felice.
Yeah, Crombie, Ray, and Tajerna had their little bit of welcome to the OHL moment there a few minutes ago. They got hemmed in their own zone. They just couldn't get that puck out, and they were gassed when they came off.
Shirk will lean in. Hammer whips it all the way around. Chen on top of it. Gonna knock it forward. The puck will roll into the Brantford zone. Taken by Shirk. Indirect up ahead. Cole Brown trying to get there, and Hamara is going to win the race. And it's going to come all the way back down to the Brantford end on the icing.
Yeah, I guess that long reach of Daniel Chen played really well there at the blue line, just inside the Bulldogs' blue line as he made the stop, and then that puck, he ensured it got out over the blue line. And the Rangers had to come out and start all over again. Just the little things in Daniel Chen's game that we've noticed here early on that have been so impressive.
Donovan off the faceoff win. Shirk approaches and neutralized. Jackeye hits the brakes to feed it on to Brown. Working against Rakoff, the forward back, who got his stick into the skates of Brown, will play on. As Swick around for Hamara. Hamara works it forward, Misseljevic. Shirk got onto him, and I think Shirk might have got away with one there as he had the free hand loose. Donovan up to Brown. It's right in front of the Kitchener bench, and they hollered. Martin spins away from Brown. He'll carry forward. Chen bats it loose. Landed for Romano, and that one came off back glass. Romano right back on top of it, knocked away by Donovan. High flipping, here's Patrick Thomas, skate to stick. Thomas works wide on the left, working at Runco, stepped around him, but Hamara, the next layer, takes it away. But Thomas Hamara looks really strong in the beginnings of his second OHL year. O'Brien with a steal, on to Thomas for a drive. Di Felice makes the save. Van Acker tried to lay it back to the line, Martin got in the way. Rangers break three abreast into the Brantford end. And Van Vliet bats the puck away before it can land. O'Brien working at Andonovski. Spins his way loose. One hand on to Thomas. Thomas back to O'Brien. A little bit of space off the left. To the point. Roberts drive around the back of goal. Thomas on to Jake O'Brien, who cuts off the circle. Wanted to try it himself. And that one sprints into the right wing corner. O'Brien throws the check to loosen the puck. It's Van Vliet's drive. Save made by Di Felice.
Well, a couple really nice plays there by O'Brien, working well with Thomas off the half board, made a really nice move, passed it in behind him, right off the boards, and collected it on the other side and kept on going, but just couldn't keep his feet. And a couple nice passes, head up on a swivel, got it back to Roberts, who got an opportunity from the point.
A lot of pats on the back at the bench from Andreas Karlsson to Jake O'Brien. He and Patrick Thomas, interesting combination for Brantford, Troy, is two guys with supercomputers implanted between their ears. As Botno Flips the puck back, and it'll be all the way back down as Nelson over top of the puck. Andonovski able to poke it loose, got it to Botno, back to Andonovski, and now Stark. Andonovski once more, working through the middle in his drive. Save made by Malbuff, and he'll hang on with 8:42 to be played in period number 2.
Yeah, Malbuff looking really strong. Let those 2 goals in early on, but has been really strong in his own zone tonight, or in net tonight for the Bulldogs. Came right out high on the blue paint there, made himself look big, cut off all the angles. There's nowhere for the Rangers player to shoot. Makes the stop, face off to his right. Still 2-1 here for the Kitchener Rangers.
Brantford defensive zone draw. It'll come to the right of Tristan Malbuff, as Mason Ray will lean in opposite of Kyle Morey, and Morey won it back. It split the D pair as Reed and Motu had to go back for the puck. Elenis taking it away from Crombie just over the Hamilton, or over the Brantford line, pardon me. It's the puck shoveled to the front of the net, and
that's waved off.
It's waved off. I was wondering if it crossed.
Yeah, that net was definitely off the moorings prior, and that puck was in the air. It hadn't crossed the line yet, and the net was off. So good call by the official there.
One of the Brantford Bulldogs just made a spectacular goal line play to keep that from getting across the line. Not sure who got the final touch on it.
Jason Fast, the referee, right on the scene there, whistled that down.
As Motu off the face-off win in the Brantford end will play it low. Radley stepping in front of the puck, trying to dig it loose. It'll be taken on by Morey. To the top, Motu over to Cameron Reed. His drive, and that one held on to by Tristan Malbuff. Face-off stays in the Brantford zone to the right side.
Yeah, Malbuff been in a bit of a zone here in this second period so far. Everything he can see, he can stop, and Bulldogs doing a good job of letting him, allowing him those lanes to open up, to keep them open so that he can see everything.
Motu's try, that one blocked on the way through. Callum Shanowski up ahead for Calvin Crombie. That one leaks through. Cameron Reed might have got a touch on that, and the icing was waved off. Dylan Tisherna creating problems in deep. Lamb will knock the puck down, and he'll play it middle. Carried along by Cameron Reed, working wide left. His drive, blockered off by Malbuff. Morey laying it behind the Brantford goal, and it's taken by Mason Ray, who carries on and out. Ray working it to the left for Crombie. Back for Ray in front. Tried the stuff shot, and DeFelice was wise to it.
Yeah, Ray in really tight. Wasn't expecting that puck back. Got it and did the best he could with it.
Lamb has a look ahead. He'll get it on to Rakoff. Rakoff charging forward. Puck knifed off his stick by Roberts. Pardon me, by Shanowski. And that'll be knocked out for Jorian Donovan. Donovan trying to carry away from Swick, and Hammer is there to intercept the puck, and it's tossed forward. Rakoff and Misiljevic on the change in front. Oh, Tristan Malbuff! He just robbed Adrian Misiljevic.
Yeah, not sure if Misiljevic got his stick on that, but that puck came right across, and Malbuff driving that skate to the post, knocked the net off, and that puck just dribbles into the corner.
Oh, he got his stick on it.
He didn't get a lot, but great stop by Tristan Malbuff.
Malbuff jammed pad to post and kicked that puck away. Jorian Donovan around the back of his own goal for Ben Bujo.
Misiljevic thought that was just going to be a tap-in.
And Hamra, who had the great vision up ahead, saw that Rakoff had turned and had Misiljevic coming off the bench. Here comes Hamra again. Working from the right towards the middle. Feeds off for Misiljevic into the corner. He's crunched there by Chin. And Malbuff put the glove on top of the puck. 6:32 to play in the second period.
Hammer of the property of the Ottawa Senators. Drafted last year, third round, 87th overall. 2 goals, 15 assists last season, and he's a player that is going to get a lot more ice time, and we will see a lot of him or hear a lot of him. Love his game. A Prague native.
On that back end last year for
Beautiful city.
Yeah, I have not had the luxury of being there. As Hamra, his shot deflected by Malbuff up and out of play. That decor last year for Kitchener ended up stacked. It had to be hard for Hamra to get those opportunities in behind guys like Leighton Moore, who was brought in, Roman Schmidt, Hunter Prstevich, who really stepped up and put on a show last year. Another 0-4 not playing tonight for the Rangers, as Noah Van Vliet is going to be taken off for a penalty for the Bulldogs. It's the first Brantford penalty kill of the night. I didn't see the signal.
Yeah, Rangers with a
high stick.
A gift of some players on defense that can really jump up into the offense.
That was our off-ice official, Doug Ryerson, over to our left, that was right on top of the call.
It takes a village.
As Hamra sliding it over to Sop. Now for Hamra to the left. Rakoff drive, blocked off by Donovan, landed in front of the goal, bounces through. Martin's there to take a whack at it. Malbuff down on top of it, as all kinds of chaos in front of the net, as Martin and Swick were right in the kitchen. Swick 6'6", 208, Martin 6'4", 206. That is a tough sled in front of the Bulldog goal.
Yeah, Bulldogs doing a good job of down low, boxing out, and they had a couple shots at that puck, but not real good ones as it bounced around. And they dare not go in towards that blue paint, or Connor Roberts was right there on the doorstep.
As Rakoff plays it high. Hamra now for Sop. Sop trying to step off the right side, plays it for Martin. Now left, Rakoff loves to walk into that circle and just rip it. As Hamra again, Rakoff, there it is, and he scores! Carson Rakoff took the feet off the top, stepped into that left circle, and drilled it for the power play goal. 3-1 for the Kitchener Rangers.
Yeah, well, that was as a result of Trent Swick in front of the net. That 6 foot plus, 6'6", standing in front of Malbuff, and he just couldn't look around that tree. And Rycroft found an opening on that blocker side high and made no mistake putting it past him, putting the Rangers up here 3-1 on the power play.
Carson Rakoff is just a gifted shooter. And Hamra picks up another assist. He's got 2 points in this game as well. Florian Jacki spins it forward. Adrian Rebello marches ahead on the right wing side. He'll slow things down, feeding back to Noah Nelson. Nelson curls around the back of the goal, try to feed that on to Shinowski. Nelson keeps it moving, and Cameron Reed will flip it out of the Kitchener zone. Brantford will regroup. Bradley on for Rebello, bouncing puck wouldn't sit. Big hit there by Shinowski, who stepped through the shoulder. I believe that was Stark. Noah Nelson working to the left side, fed it on for Florian Jacki. Puck rolled to the side of the goal. Di Felice had a quick look there over his shoulder as Stark will bring it into the Brantford end. Swept away by Jacki. Up ahead is Van Acker. Trying to step around Scott, who's able to knock the puck back, and now feeds it to Botno. Malbuff couldn't get that one away from Elenis, who comes off the end, boards with it, feeds it out front, blocked away by Patrick Thomas. Daniel Chen for Jake O'Brien, puck to the line. Andonovski throws it on. Knocked aside by Malbuff, puck to the line, and it would have been offside. Scott relinquished before he made the offside touch. Thomas now for Van Acker, puck rolled under his forehand. Van Acker on the exchange with Donovan. Puck took a couple of weird hops, and that'll be Morey the other way for Lamb. Lamb off the right circle, attacks. Puck was held up, and it's Van Acker who has a look up, but all he sees is 3 blue shirts, and it's Blair Scott who pokes it away. Donovan to a little bit of space. And he'll toss it in behind the Kitchener goal. Antonovsky bothered there by O'Brien, but able to make the move away. He'll start up away from the Van Acker pressure, bounces it through Shirk, gets it on to Morey. Morey in the left circle, and a penalty's going to come here to the Rangers, and I believe it's going to be Antonovsky for slashing the stick out of the hands of Noah Van Vliet, and the Bulldogs will go to the power play.
Now Bulldogs now going to their 5th power play in this game. And another opportunity to get back into this one, down 3-1, 3:25 left to go in the second period. And some of those Bulldogs looking a little tired at this juncture of the game, which is kind of surprising. Maybe the shifts are just a little bit too long here in the preseason.
Might need to shorten them up a slight bit.
And Rangers looking a little vibrant, and lots of energy on that bench for the Kitchener Rangers.
Bulldogs coming off of a win in Erie where they ran a bit of a 3-team round robin, and a victory over the Memorial Cup hosts, the Saginaw Spirit, for this season.
Well, isn't that going to be a perfect place for Memorial Cup?
Yeah, you and I have talked about that a lot, that entertainment space or auditorium that they've got built into their arena.
Yeah, if you're going to think, oh, we're going to build a place where we can host a Memorial Cup yearly, there's the map for it.
Yeah,
they've got everything there, right in the downtown core. They're going to have concerts, and they're going to have some big bands playing there that week.
I have heard that. Have to check in with my friend Dylan Clark with the Saginaw Spirit.
Everything's bigger in America.
As Donovan playing it on to Patrick Thomas. Now to the top, Donovan, as the Bulldogs begin the power play, and the tip in front runs just wide as Lawson Shirk went for the touch, and the puck explodes and sops away shorthanded to the forehand. Oh, Malbuff got him with the skate.
Wow, really nice save by Malbuff. Sop tried to jam that in, makes a forehand, a backhand, and Malbuff just getting the pad out again. That's twice now that Malbuff has robbed the Rangers with that right leg.
Shirk off glass. Battles for it behind the goal. Thomas reverses. Donovan was working middle to be at the top of the umbrella, and the Brantford Bulldogs will regroup in their own zone. Eric Van Acker tries to play it on for Patrick Thomas. Shirk's the next man for Thomas. Over to Cole Brown. Steps into the circle. Hit the strings. Motu on the backhand. Bounces it in. That one runs all the way out. Motu sent a bit of a knuckleball.
Rangers constantly attacking on that penalty kill.
Donovan used the back of the net for safety. Carries on. Now flips it wide into the right wing corner. Hamara, first man back. He's going to have an opening. Puck rolled off of his stick. And now Van Acker will be able to take. Van Acker works along the goal line. Tried to get the shot away, and he was bothered just enough by Motu. Battled his way back into the play. Callum Shanowski back in his own zone. 25 seconds left in the power play for the Bulldogs. Shanowski to the right for Jake O'Brien. Now Mason Ray trying to turn the outside. Ray kicks to his stick to the top. Shanowski, his drive. That one blocked on its way through, and Hamara will flip it along to Martin. Martin along the sideboards, tossed off as he and Ray continue the battle. Even in full, 5-on-5, Bulldogs power play comes to a close. Shanowski sliding it along for Ray, who joins late. Ray fires it out in front, and that one deflects off back glass. O'Brien wings that across the slot, and it'll skip out of the zone as Ben Radley's the first man back. Radley for Chen. Up to Florian Jacki. Jacki stops up, and it was the little stop as he was coming across the line that put his mates offside.
Yeah, the far side just in front of us, just over the line. Jacki had to hold up at the blue line. But good job again by the Kitchener Rangers killing off another penalty. their penalty kill has been impressive this game.
Radley off the face-off win for the Bulldogs. For Chen, who zips it around the end boards. DiFelice plays it through the corner. Tishurna's after it. Going to spin back against the grain for Nelson. Nelson back to the slot. Had Crombie and Tishurna there, but the puck got into Crombie's legs. Elenis battles his way loose off the left side. Chen with the block. Nelson had it explode. Tishurna was the next man. Now Crombie's got to follow up as Lamb jumped on it. Puck is loose in the scramble and now tossed out of the Brantford zone. Andonovski. 12 seconds left in the second period. Lamb plays ahead. Radley gets it on forward for Nelson with 5 seconds left in the period. He'll work against Runco. Nelson has to move quickly to center for Chen, and the period will expire. But DiFelice was there for it anyway. We come to the end of 40 minutes, and Troy, the Kitchener Rangers, into preseason, playing a pretty complete hockey game so far.
Yeah, they're playing at both ends of the ice, and they're playing with speed and tenacity, and the Bulldogs are having a tough time answering back to that. Bulldogs 0 for 5 in the power play is the story of this one so far. They've got to pop in at least 1 or 2 of those 5.
We've got 20 minutes left to go at the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. Troy and I will be back with you for the third period after this. 20 minutes to go in this preseason opener as the Brantford Bulldogs and the Kitchener Rangers take the ice once more. And Troy, as we get set for this final 20, the Bulldogs trailing by a pair. They need a little bit of a jolt.
Yeah, Kitchener Rangers with a little bit of everything in this game. They got a shorthanded goal, they got a power play goal, and they got an even strength goal. Out shooting the Bulldogs 17-6 in that second period, 23-16 overall. A decisive advantage in play here for the Kitchener Rangers. 1-for-1 on the power play, just one opportunity, and they've made the Bulldogs play. Bulldogs 0-for-5 on the power play, and as we mentioned, partway through that second period, Bulldogs looking maybe a little tired at portions of that game. Maybe the shifts were a little too long for preseason. Kitchener Rangers had lots of jump in their play.
Have to see if the adjustments were made in the room in between periods. As we will see the same starting groups from the first and second as Rakoff, Swick, and Misiljevic have the start for the Rangers. They're joined by Andonovski and Scott. It's Shirk, Jackeye, and Brown, along with Chen and Van Vliet for the Bulldogs. And
Carson Rakoff had 2 goals in this one. And Thomas Amara with a goal and assist. So lots of damage done by some veteran players of the Kitchener Rangers.
referee Jason Fast is hard at work on the net behind Tristan Malbuff, and it looks like he had to tie something back together.
Got to have a lot of knots as an official.
Must have a boat or something.
Yeah. Slip knots, all those knots.
As Misiljevic, hold on, I'll get my father-in-law on the line. He's a knot expert. As Shirk tries to bring the puck into the offensive zone for Brantford. And this play is offside. That's the phone a friend portion of the show.
Knot guys just love showing their knot ability.
He's got a book that shows him how to do all that. Well, you've met him, you know.
Yeah. Knot guy, he's a knot guy.
He's a knot guy. As Rakoff and Shirk on the draw just outside the Kitchener line. Andonovski sliding it D to D for Blair Scott. Up ahead, it'll run all the way down. And that will be icing as the faceoff will come all the way back down to the Kitchener zone.
Merrick Van Acker leading the way for the Brantford Bulldogs. Here we are in the third period.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
4 shots on goal for Van Acker and 4 in the dangerous area, in that immediate area around the net. So they call them dangerous shots all season long here.
We've been calling them the Hamilton Bulldogs. Well, you and I doing the game since 2015, and before that, of course, the AHL run back to 1996 as Cole Brown's shot is deflected up and into the mesh out of play. It's going to take some time to get used to this.
Yeah, well, I've got Brantford written all over everything I have here in front of me, and I still slip up.
That's all right. That's all right.
Where's the little tin cup where we should actually have fines? And at the end of the season, you, me, and Norm Miller, we go for chicken wings somewhere.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, chicken wings. You're talking my language. As the puck rolled out past the blue line, Swick will work the right wing side. Carried down to the right corner. Misiljevic, the next man. Donovan right on top of him. Misiljevic looking to work it high. Donovan gets in the way, and the puck poked into neutral ice. Andonovski brings it back. Jackeye taps it along. Roberts D to Donovan. Looking for Van Acker. That puck deflected into the Kitchener zone. Shirk navigates it around the back of the goal. Florian Jackeye hits the brakes in front of Scott. Feeds off for Van Acker. Wanted it in front for Shirk. Cut inside of his reach. Romano. Run off by Donovan, who allows Noah Roberts and Florian Jackeye to work the puck. And now Patrick Thomas zips it out of the zone. Van Acker knocks it down, trying to turn Cameron Reed. Van Acker to the net with the touch. And the puck is somewhere underneath Dean Felice, who makes a tremendous sprawling stop.
Yeah, Van Acker coming to the net with speed, beat his opponent, and then come across the net and try to just slide that right under Dean Felice, but he makes a great stop. And this game stays at 3-1 here. Yeah, too bad we don't have the benefit of replays, because that was a beauty.
That's coming. October 7th for home opener. We'll have them.
Exciting.
As Ben Radley trying to dig the puck loose.
And that's going to be a crazy night.
That is going to be wild. The building will be vibrating. As Patrick Thomas thrown off his edges by Mitchell Martin, and well, apparently he was thrown off his edges by a cross-check according to the official. 6th power play of the night for the Brantford Bulldogs. And Troy, you got to feel like they got to pot one here.
Yeah, definitely something needs to give here for the Bulldogs on their 6th opportunity tonight. And at the end of this game, whatever happens, if it stays the way we are here, that's definitely something that you circle on the scorer's game sheet. Those 6 Bulldogs, thus 6 power play opportunities thus far.
Donovan feeding onto the left for Patrick Thomas. Low to Lawson Shirk. Brings it out the front on the backhand, and DeFelice again able to handle it aside. Shirk trying to get it loose. It'll be taken by Sop, who collects, and he'll wiggle one all the way down the frozen river.
Sop doing everything for this Kitchener Rangers team.
Terrain Donovan starting up and out. The drop back will find Shirk. To his right, Cole Brown. Sends it around the end boards. DeFelice playing it up the wall, and that will get on to Sop and all the way down again. Malbuff out quickly, playing on to Shirk.
Pretty consistent with the Bulldogs. The problem they've had is taking control of the offensive zone and setting up that power play.
Shirk with speed, works wide at Reed. Look to center it. It was knocked down by Mercer. Donovan blocked it, and the second attempt by Stark will send it all the way down.
This power play here is half over for the Kitchener Rangers. They've done a great job of killing this one, as they have the other 5.
Donovan on the drop back. Cole Brown dances through neutral ice over to Thomas. Thomas rolls it around the back of the net. Bit of a miscommunication. Van Acker went middle. Donovan was working the middle of the blue line. It's not quite sharp at the moment. As Donovan onto Florian Jacki, fresh onto the ice. Jacki working away from Elenis. Bujo looking to send it through the left wing corner. He gets run out of time and space, and the puck will hop on to Morey. 15 seconds left in the power play, and Morey will circle back to Andonovski. Andonovski plays it along, and there's going to be a penalty coming to the Brantford Bulldogs. It's going to be a tripping call that will go against Ben Bujo. This happened in the left corner as Bujo ended up knocked down, going body to body, tried to reach out and sweep the puck, Troy, and ended up taking one of the Rangers down in the process.
Well, the Rangers now go back to the power play, and they're 1 for 1 in this game. Like I said, off the top of this period, they've got a goal 5-on-5. They got one shorthanded, and they've got one on the power play.
To the power play in 9 seconds. 9 seconds of 4-on-4, minute 51 of power play time for the Rangers, barring any other infractions. As Rakoff tries to feed that across for Sop.
If they get one 4-on-4, that's the trifecta.
And, well, they'll run out of time on the 4-on-4, but now to the power play. As Hamra, with Martin out of the box, feeds right for Sop. Martin working his way to the slot. Hamra over to Rakoff in his spot in the left circle. Puck gets all the way through to Sop. Malbuff trying to follow. Sop keeps on, and the puck blocked and will be sent all the way down as Hamra goes to the Kitchener bench, doubled over.
Yeah, not good news for the Kitchener Rangers fan. He looked like he's in considerable pain there on the bench.
I did not see. I took my eyes off Hamra as soon as he let go of the puck, so I didn't see what might have happened on the end there. Hamra staying on the bench.
He was holding himself down low, almost like he may have pulled a groin or something. I'm not sure. Didn't look good.
Rakoff tried to skip through the Mason Ray check. Puck turned over to Shirk. Drop for Ray, and the shorthanded bid carries wide. It's a little tight to Ray's skates as Rakoff works it for Misljevic. Playing it out high. That taken along by Romano for Motu. Back for Romano. His drive shouldered off by Malbuff. Noah Roberts couldn't get the twirling puck to settle. Carson Rakoff walks the line. He'll drop it off for Motu as Rakoff heads towards that left circle. Rakoff essentially setting up like Brandon Sagen used to in the office. Rakoff now all the way over to the right for a drive, and Malbuff snags that out of the air. Rakoff wakes up in the morning looking to shoot a puck.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they were trying to feed him on that far wing, and he knows exactly where he wants to be. And he goes off to the bench here now for just 15 seconds left in this power play.
Patrick Thomas on the ice. He'll go up against Romano on the faceoff. Puck to the left of Brantford netminder Tristan Malbuff as Daniel Chen will take. He'll flash it out of the zone. Romano knocked it out of the air with a high stick, so the faceoff will come on the Kitchener side of neutral ice, or now they're going to bring it right to the center circle.
Ottawa 67's up 5-2 over North Bay Battalion. It's maybe a little too early to do out of town scores, but it's still interesting. Exactly.
Simon Motu collects and works his way ahead. Ottawa will be an interesting team this year. They had a lot of young talent despite the record that you would think would have been a more veteran-loaded team, led by Luca Pinelli and company. As the Bulldogs now back to even and full 5-on-5 with Bugeaud back to the bench. Donovan with a look up ahead to Merrick Van Acker on the left wing side. Van Acker throws it in front. He wanted Jake O'Brien going to the net. Cameron Reed lifted the stick and then had to hit the brakes hard to keep out of his way. Thomas over the Kitchener line. It'll be taken right back. Donovan press Romano to the boards, and Chen with the long strides, able to keep the puck away. O'Brien flips it, looking for Van Acker. Van Acker working around Scott, fed to the middle. Carried off the stick of Thomas. Chen fires it through the crowd. Kick through the left corner. Van Acker plays it behind the net. Thomas on his backhand, rolled it to the front. O'Brien's next, trying to keep it alive, working off the Mercer check. Thomas pulls the puck through his own skates. O'Brien hit the brakes behind the goal, but the puck rolled on to Mercer, and now Lamb. Tanner Lamb into the Brantford end, but he'll relinquish possession. And the puck's up ahead to Thomas. He's got O'Brien 2-on-1. Thomas on the left, tries 5-hole, and DeFelice shuts it off. Andonovski did a great job trying to stop Thomas from having O'Brien as an option.
Yeah, he sure did. And O'Brien couldn't get himself open, and Thomas did the right thing there by taking that shot.
Van Acker with a heavy hit along the boards on Stark. And the puck will be tossed down the rink, icing against Brantford with 12 and a half left to play in the third period. Quick pause for an ice cleaning, Troy, as Merrick Van Acker certainly made his presence felt for the Bulldogs tonight, but they're going to need somebody offensively to make a big play here. Brantford had the opportunity at 2-on-1 with Thomas and O'Brien. DeFelice shuts the door, and that was just, to me, really impressive by Matthew Andonovski to stay middle. He stayed composed and gave up nothing.
Yeah, perfect angle. He was knew exactly where Thomas was. He let DeFelice have Thomas. He cut the angle off and took that pass completely away from O'Brien. And Thomas had nothing else to do but shoot.
And it's not like O'Brien didn't try. He stepped on the gas to try to speed up and drive. Andonovski with a quick crossover was pulling back. Then as O'Brien tried to slow up to get himself loose, Andonovski slowed up.
Put himself right between the two.
But still didn't give Thomas enough room to pull in front of him in front of the net.
Yeah, that was textbook by Andonovski.
Yeah, really nice work from Andonovski. The 0-5 out of Markham, and he is incredibly composed on that back line for the Rangers.
Van Acker now out for the Bulldogs. He leads all Bulldogs here with 5 shots in this game. Nobody even close to that.
Of course, 30-goal scorer. Nick Lardis not playing for the Bulldogs tonight. And boy, how many is he going to pot this season? As Marek Van Acker plays it all the way around the end boards. He went on fire after being acquired by the Bulldogs last season. He, along with Sahil Panwar and Patrick Thomas, were just a dynamic combination.
And just helped his draft case so much.
The Chicago Blackhawks, I've heard interviews from their front office and wondering how in the world they found him in the 4th round. Goodness.
You had the same feeling watching Lardis play as you did Sunil Panwar last year. It's going, why isn't this guy signed? It was just phenomenal.
Pardon me, third round. I'm thinking of Jack-Eye and Thomas in the 4th as the blocker. Taken by Malbuff. Shanowski lofts it to the line. Tashurna trying to break it up. And it'll be chopped out of the zone by Noah Nelson. Morey stepping his way ahead over to Lamb, who walks into the circle for a shot. And that one knuckles around back of the goal. Of course, no Lucas Moore or Cedric Snow-Kitundu for the Bulldogs on the blue line tonight either. And those are two pieces that'll feature regularly as Crombie feeding back for Jorian Donovan. Some guys trying to earn some looks and minutes in the regular season this year on both sides in the lineups tonight.
Yeah, really good call by the Bulldogs coaching staff. You want to get, you like to win hockey games. Everybody goes out on the ice and they want to win the game. But you're getting guys into, the fire real quickly here, giving them a lot of ice time. The likes of Nelson and Crombie and Tashurna and O'Brien, they've had a lot of ice time tonight, and that's what you want. You want to get them in the game. Score is nice. It's nice to win hockey games, but not important in preseason.
Ben Radley, Daniel Chen on the blue line.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the Rangers tonight, Antonio Pugliese and Hunter Prustevich not in the lineup, and they're both going to feature heavily this season.
Yeah, so both teams have some big wheels out of the lineup tonight, and it's still a very entertaining hockey game, and the crowd here hasn't been disappointed at all.
Although they'll look for a late push from the Bulldogs.
Just almost at the halfway point of this third period, 3-1 still here for the Kitchener Rangers. If you're a Kitchener Rangers fan, you've got to be impressed by what you're seeing here. This team is fast, feisty, and they can put the puck in the net. And they as well are playing a lot of young kids, their first games in the OHL.
Simon Motu, who's going to be a big part of what the Rangers do this season.
Yeah, so impressed with him tonight.
Puck poked to the line. Cameron Reed plays it in deep around the back of the net. Swick collects. Look to center it there. Rakoff playing it out high. Motu walks down from the point. Fed it out front, and that one's in the net. Simon Motu zipped one off the right as he was making his way down. And I'm not sure how that got in.
I think that deflected off of something, I think, and went past Melbuff, but almost on cue. We were talking about him, and then makes a really nice play right down the boards, comes off the half wall, and just puts his puck out front. And it somehow goes in. We don't have the benefit of replay here, but it looks like where he is in the conga line back to his bench, it's his goal.
Yeah, he was the last Ranger to touch it. It hit something on its way through and got into the Bulldogs' goal. And following that, Noah Roberts and Trent Swick were giving each other what for. And now they're both in the boxes, and they're still continuing a conversation.
Connor Roberts with his hands out. Like, what did you want me to do?
There was a long discussion there. I'm not really sure what the impetus of that was, as Noah Van Vliet will start ahead, and Van Vliet gets taken down through neutral ice, and the Bulldogs are going to go back to the power play as Ben Bugeaud drives wide on the right side. Bugeaud hits the brakes, works through a hit. Mason Ray Out high off the right, feeds back for Bugeaud, who collects himself. Bugeaud low for Noah Van Vliet. Van Vliet flips it to the boards, and that'll escape past Daniel Chen and roll back to the Bulldogs' end. Sop on top of it. He'll get the touch on the puck, and it's going to be a hooking call against Mitchell Martin. And again, the Bulldogs go back to the power play with 9:52 left in the third period. And we'll see if they can collect something on this man advantage.
Yeah, one little chink in the armor so far in this game. The only one for the Kitchener Rangers is the 6 power plays. This now 7 power plays they're giving up in this one. That's something that they're going to have to keep an eye on going forward. And it's been the only thing that potentially could hurt the Rangers going forward.
These two teams will rematch at Memorial Odd on Friday night as Jorian Donovan carries the puck out high. Jake O'Brien, 4-on-3 right now for the Bulldogs as Thomas sends it for O'Brien. That one exploded off his forehand. O'Brien to the top once more. Donovan for the 16-year-old. Back for Jorian Donovan, and that one slides just out of the Kitchener zone. Donovan hits the brakes and neutralized while Van Acker gets onside. And now O'Brien brings it back over the line. Jake O'Brien up for Jorian Donovan. Back for O'Brien, who steps in for a drive. DiFelice holds it off. Puck to the boards, Donovan recovers. Donovan for Thomas left. Across for O'Brien right, he scores! Jake O'Brien! And the Bulldogs' gifted first rounder is on the board with 9:09 to go. It's 4-2.
Yeah, first bright spot on the power play for the Hamilton Bulldogs and Brantford Bulldogs. And Thomas making a beautiful pass across for O'Brien, and he just unleashes that real quick into the back of the net. The defense had all collapsed around DiFelice, and there was nobody, no sticks in the lane there. Really nice pass by Thomas across.
Patrick Thomas with a pair of assists in the game. And Jake O'Brien, who was the 8th overall pick in the 2023 priority selection draft. You can see why.
Yeah, really nice release there by O'Brien. They tried that play prior, a few seconds earlier, and it bounced off his stick. He wasn't able to handle the pass. This time, very easily handled it. Made a real quick shot right past DiFelice.
Patrick Thomas starts right back up. Play remains 4-on-4 as Patrick Thomas works his way down the boards, hits the brakes on the right side. Thomas trying to curl to the slot, threw it out front, that was deflected aside. Van Vliet jams the brakes on, twisting this way and that, trying to work around Motu. Van Vliet again hits the brakes hard. Motu knocks the stick out of his hands, and it'll be Mercer onto the puck. What a battle there between Van Vliet and Motu as Van Acker will start up again. Bulldogs with a bit of a jump after the O'Brien goal. We are now full strength as Swick and Roberts exit the box. A steal from Tashurna, forehand, and scores! First round to second round as Dylan Tashurna goes upstairs, and it's a 1-goal game.
Well, we've seen this all game long. Tashurna, great forechecker. He's really forcing the puck, forces a turnover here, and then takes advantage of it. And that puck goes high glove side. He beats DiFelice, who's been really strong everywhere in the nets tonight for the Kitchener Rangers. But that was a quick release by Tashurna, and a goal well earned with a lot of great work offensively for Dylan Tashurna.
He led the Don Mills Flyers in scoring last season. And he is continuing. He was really good in the series in Erie. He is continuing to impress in this preseason.
Bulldogs out shooting the Rangers 6-4 in this third period so far.
Radley coming around his own goal, gave the puck up and then stole it right back. Shanowski tries to tap that along. He'll jam his man into the boards. That was Morey. Ellenis there as well. Trying to kick the puck loose out of the corner. Now joined in on the fun as Radley was pinned. Shanowski gets it loose. Noah Nelson was in to help as well. And Calvin Crombie chucks it into neutral ice, and now the Kitchener zone to Sherna again. Trying to steal the puck through Andonovski.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem for defensive units this season.
Nelson found a loose puck, and now it'll be tossed all the way back into Brantford territory.
And DeSherna gets a pat on the head from his teammates, and he goes to the bench. Great shift.
Puck skipped off Radley's skate. It's sent into neutral ice. Rakoff playing it along for Tomasz Hamara. Hamara launches it around the end boards. Misljevic is bounced, and it's Lawson Shirk ahead. He's got Florian Jacki behind him, but Shirk wasn't able to hit the brakes as he came over the Kitchener line, and the faceoff will come into neutral ice with 6:42 to go. From 4-1 to 4-3, and the Bulldogs have some belief here.
Well, we've seen this before in the Bulldogs. You know, a late third period surge. Saw it last year quite a few times, and you know, Jay McKee lighting a bit of a fire underneath that bench. And the Bulldogs getting right back into this one, 4-3.
Runco to the left for Swick. Noah Roberts will be the first man back. Takes a look over both shoulders. Plays it along to Florian Jacki, now to Lawson Shirk. Shirk trying to swing away from the Misljevic pressure. Up for Jacki, who chops it along. Shirk trying to one-hand that into the zone, and Runco met him. Hamara able to spin through the check of Florian Jacki. Rakoff handles it a bit behind himself, working at Jorian Donovan, gets a shot away, and Malbuff able to handle with 6:08 to play.
Wow. How dangerous is Rakoff? It's a nice little move on Jorian Donovan, and gets the shot away. Dangerous shot that Malbuff had to make a big save on, or this game was very easily 5-3.
Scary thing about Carson Rakoff is he's only an 05.
Yeah.
This is going to be his third year in the OHL, and he is just downright frightening. As the puck around the back of the net, it's centered, jammed off of a couple of legs, popped high towards the right point. Motu will get it back. He the fourth goal for the Rangers. Now to Sop, working into the right circle. To Motu, his drive, blockered up and into the mesh, out of play by Tristan Malbuff.
Yeah, Motu, a real big part of this offensive surge for the Kitchener Rangers tonight.
Rangers is anytime they get possession in the offensive zone, or even 5-on-5, they go into an umbrella setup.
Yeah.
And there's a defenseman at the top, and then trying to draw somebody out high and use that umbrella formation to work across the ice. Usually you don't see that at even strength.
Well, in a 5-on-5 situation, if you've got the guys can do it, you have guys with speed on that blue line, you can do that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Now another timeout here, 5:49 left to go in this third period. Kitchener Rangers up 4-3, and there'll be a face-off deep in the Brantford Bulldogs zone to the left of Tristan Malbuff. Both goaltenders have had a really good game so far today. Shots on goal, 28-22 now in favor of Kitchener.
As Noah Van Vliet charges ahead on the left side. Ujo going to roll away from a couple of hits. Rebello around the back of the net. He'll continue on. Rebello steals the puck through Romano's skates, but a nice job done by Martin to force him out of room. Chen drops it right back into the Kitchener zone. Motu hits the brakes. Romano hops it middle. Chen steps up, and look out! Daniel Chen with a heavy hit on Matthew Sott. Bujo.
Sop didn't see that coming, but I think everybody in the building did as Chen steps up. 6'6" frame just outside the blue line for the Rangers, and Sop looks none worse for the wear.
I think Sop got his head up just at the end as Andonovski rolls this along for Stark.
And the Bulldogs giving Sop a little bit of the gears on the bench when he comes to the bench.
Patrick Thomas works ahead. As Jake O'Brien right back to Thomas. Trying to feed it in front for Van Acker. O'Brien steps in front of it. Spins it through the crowd. Nobody in the slot for the Bulldogs. Thomas from his knees to O'Brien's one-timer. Kick save made by DeFelice.
Yeah, O'Brien didn't get as much stick as he wanted on that one, or that would have been a lot harder to handle by DeFelice. It was a bit of a changeup.
Radley bouncing back and forth with Botno. Puck played out high. It's Hamara from the right point. His drive. Waffle boarded away by Malbuff. Shanowski up for O'Brien. O'Brien wanted to play that middle. Didn't see a lane he liked. Made the safe play in deep, and he'll track after Hamara. 3:45 to go.
Nice out by Hamara. Right from the corner, ticks that puck off back to the defender and just makes a nice move, and then 3 strides and he's out.
Merrick Van Acker with steam. Sent that through the crowd. Shirk in the way of it. Centered. Motu blocked it with a skate. It'll be ripped towards the left point. Roberts keeps it alive. Hamara whacks it, and that's going to run down the rink. And it's an icing as Cole Brown is the first man back with 3:15 to play.
Just noticed tonight, Connor Roberts has an A on his jersey for
Noah
tonight's
Roberts.
game. Noah Roberts has an A on his jersey for tonight's game.
Yeah, Noah Roberts has 1. For newer fans in Brantford, Connor Roberts was a Bulldog in the 2016 and 2017 seasons. The name's beginning to run together after 8 years of doing this.
So many Connors and so many Noahs.
As Cole Brown will spin, throws it to the net. Jackie's there. He ties the game. From 4-1 down, Florian Jackie bangs it home in front of the net.
Yeah, great hand-eye coordination by Jackie. Has his first shot of this puck, and it dribbles up in behind. I'm not sure if that was out in front or in behind of DeFelice, and then catches it on the other side, bats it past the goaltender, and ties this hockey game at 4 with 3:10 left to go. Bulldogs with a real surge offensively here in this third period late.
Well, they've responded to the challenge. As Shirk and Brown will have the assists on that goal. As Van Acker trying to pull the puck around Cameron Reed to the front of the net. And DeFelice bounces it wide. Patrick Thomas chases it down. Met by a pair. Swick does a great job to get that puck onto Misiljevic. Andonovski tried to clear loose. Now it's Van Acker ahead. Van Acker on his forehand. Jammed it to the side of the goal. And the puck rolled out the other side. Misiljevic playing it off for Swick. His drive, shouldered aside by Malbuff.
Things have opened up right up here in this late in this third period.
Thomas for Jake O'Brien. High flip as the Bulldogs will make the full change. Fans getting behind their Bulldogs here in Brantford.
Yeah, real jump in everyone's game here now in this third.
Martin can't get the zone entry. There's Tashurna in the way again. Rebello over the line. Looks like Tashurna's bumped up one unit here. Skating now with Bugeaud and Rebello. As the puck comes around for Motu's drive. Sealed off by Malbuff. Bugeaud battles after it. Radley couldn't get it up and out as Martin cut it off. Radley back after it. Bodies Martin aside. Shanowski settles. Plays on to Radley. Through the middle, wanted Rebello. Puck will roll down and icing with $1:35 to go.
You know, shots on goal now 9-6 in favor of Brantford as they've made this surge late in this game, tied it up with goals by Jake O'Brien, Dylan Tashurna, and Florian Jackie late here. And you've got to be impressed with the push that the Bulldogs have made.
The Brantford Bulldogs have used their timeout here, and that'll allow them to move the bodies around that were stuck on that icing And Troy, when you look at the comeback for the Bulldogs, well, look at the 4 goals tonight in total. Van Acker, first-round pick. O'Brien, first-round pick. Desherna, second-round pick. Florian Jacki, undrafted free agent.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Jacki doesn't count, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether he was drafted first round, 15th round, or not drafted at all. Never underestimated Jacki.
They said that Arbor was a unicorn. Well, I don't know that he can be a unicorn because Florian is following right along that same path.
Yeah, some really good hand-eye coordination by Florian just moments ago has tied this hockey game right when the Bulldogs needed it most. Face off to the right of Tristan Melbuff. Minute 35 left to go.
And of course, in the next week or so, Florian will join brother Arbor at Montreal Canadiens camp. As Misljevic poking at Florian on the faceoff, and Florian just kind of shrugged it off.
That was a big face-off win there.
Lawson Shirk. Where have you heard that before? As Shirk from the right circle tried to get that on to Brown. Taken away by Rakoff. Rakoff into the Hamilton zone, swept aside by Donovan. Now for Noah Roberts, who sets Cole Brown. For Florian Jacki. Hamra able to bat that out of the air. Roberts up for Jacki. Bounces it into the offensive zone. Hamra turns back behind his own net. Bothered by Jacki. Hamra tosses it into the Brantford end. Malbuff out to play it. It's Donovan. Up for Jacki. Donovan once more as they'll go high loft. Andonovski uses his height to bring it down. 45 seconds left in regulation. Rakoff to the front. Martin not able to bat it in. Rakoff comes all the way around the back for Andonovski. He'll fire it from the left point. Blocked off by Florian Jacki. Donovan. Reverse hit there on Martin as Roberts runs it around the boards. Up to Cole Brown. They were teammates with the York Simcoe Express together. Puck back over the line to Martin, who drags, fires, saved by Malbuff, rebound. He'll get down on top of it with Andonovski going to the net, and then Andonovski and Chen get pushing and shoving, and Jake O'Brien is in there to say, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, late seconds surge by the Kitchener Rangers deep in Bulldogs zone as this puck comes right down to Tristan Melbuff, who makes the stop, but it was all the pushing and shoving afterwards. No call. A good no call by the official. Guys are just getting to know each other. It's preseason.
Hey, how you doing? You tried the pumpkin spice recently? As Andonovski sends that off of a body in front. Andonovski again tries to step in. Steal by O'Brien to Van Acker. He's got 7 seconds to work with. Van Acker at Reed trying to turn him. He does to his forehand, and Romano got back to block it. Patrick Thomas will spin to the corner, and that will do it for regulation. Merrick Van Acker almost had himself a moment here in the preseason.
Yeah, real nice strength move there by Van Acker, and almost pulled it off right at the end. Couldn't get, he lost room and lost angle on it and couldn't get the shot away. But, you know, really well-earned tie, I would call it, for the Bulldogs down in this one by a few and get right back into it. But we're going to have some overtime here, I guess, in the preseason.
Well, getting a little more than you paid for this evening, as it will be, to the best of my knowledge, 5 minutes of 3-on-3. And if we get there, a shootout. As a bit of a quick scrape. Being told once again, Doug Ryerson has been great for us tonight to our left. In preseason, we go straight to the shootout. I'll be honest, this is the first time I've done a preseason game.
Well, I think we're going to need Doug in the booth like all year round.
He's right. He's to our left this season. Like he's
good.
The next booth over.
Good, good.
We're working on that. Yeah.
We need him. We need him on a headset in our ear.
Like the rules analyst in the NFL.
That's right. Exactly.
As we go right to the shootout. Yeah, the first time I've done extra time here in a preseason game.
Well,
this has never happened to me before.
If you're not learning something every day, then
what are you doing?
It's a waste of a day.
All right, shootout time. Cole Brown will be the first shooter against Luca Di Felice. Brown starts out way to his right and slow. Picking up into the right circle on his forehand, cuts backhand. Oh, what a tuck. Cole Brown, hello there.
Well, it took him a while to get there, but a really nice move. Fakes the forehand, comes right backhand, and DeFelice had made the move already, and he was beat.
Matthew Sopp, the overager, will be the shooter for Kitchener. He's got a library of moves as he cuts slot, tries to bring it to his back. Oh! Well, it wasn't quite the Avery Hayes no move, but the puck rolled off the backhand and cut inside the post to even it up at 1. And there's some words being exchanged between the two benches.
A little bit of a kiss blown there by Sopp to the Bulldogs bench.
Van Acker out to his left, cuts through the circle on his forehand and scores.
Wow, 5-hole.
Merrick Van Acker just picking his spot, and now he has to look over at the Kitchener bench.
Yeah, he's had just a great game for the Bulldogs here tonight.
Carson Rakoff will be the next shooter. And Rakoff, who gets up in the morning ready to shoot a puck, works off the right circle on his forehand and scores.
Wow, the release on Rakoff is not too many people you can see in the NHL have that, or OHL have that release so quick.
Ice water in the veins of Carson Rakoff. Patrick Thomas. He'll start up out to his right. Thomas loading to his forehand. His shot scores! Over the pad, under the blocker.
Yeah, Thomas driving DeFelice right back in his net till he's right on the goal line, and then puts that puck right over his blocker, over the rookie goaltenders. 3 goals in a row here for the Bulldogs.
Here is Tanner Lamb looking to keep this one alive. The 0-7. Lamb starts way out to his left. Cuts through the circle. And Malbuff knocks it aside. The Bulldogs come back from 4-1 down in the third period and take the shootout victory.
Well, that's the story tonight. It's not over till it's over, and the Hamilton Bulldogs, and it's, any Jay McKee coach team is not giving up. In that third period, they did not give up. In fact, they found a surge of energy that we didn't see in the first and second period, and used that energy to propel themselves in this third period to 3 big goals and then winning that shootout in overtime. It was very impressive.
Welcome to the Brantford Bulldog era. It begins anew as they salute the fans inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. And Troy, it only gets more and more fun from here. Your final thoughts?
Well, it wasn't pretty in some points of the game. Like I say, the Bulldogs were 1 for 7 on the power play and then gave up a shorthanded goal tonight. But, you got to love comebacks like that. It's not over until they say it's over, and a really good surge in that third period. Really nice second half of the third period.
The Brantford Bulldogs will next be in action Friday night when these two teams rematch. That'll be on Rogers TV locally in Brantford. And what a rematch it'll be at the legendary Memorial Auditorium for preseason. Troy, it's going to have a whole lot of smoke.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and that's a great building, one of the great OHL buildings in this league. And you're going to have players who, have only dreamed about playing in a building like that. And they'll be really high for that one. These young 07s for the Hamilton Bulldogs looking to get into that odd.
Thanks to everyone for being along for the ride with us tonight. A great night of hockey as the Brantford Bulldogs open this new era on home ice with a 5-4 comeback shootout victory over the Kitchener Rangers. Back in action Friday night at the Kitchener Odd. Back to the Brantford area on September the 22nd when the Bulldogs host the Guelph Storm at Six Nations Arena. For my broadcast partner, Troy Islikar, I'm Reed Duffy. We'll talk to you on down the road. You've been watching Brantford Bulldogs hockey right here on the Brantford Bulldogs.